Alright, so we in this bitch. Tokyo Revengers, we on episode 4 with it. Let me roll up my window so the niggas don't hear me and shit. First and foremost, I don't have reviews on the first few episodes because honestly, for the most part, I fuck with my nigga Boruto, right? You already know that shit. If this is like some video where you're gonna be introduced to this shit, mainly I do Boruto, and I'm gonna do this review pretty much how I do that. So it's just a list of shit that kind of popped into my head, some points that popped into my head as the episode rolled out. So this is gonna be more of a discussion than it is really a review, because I'm not like I said, dog, I'm not no technical nigga. The way I like my review style is I'm your homie, I'm your nigga, I'm your bruh, and we just chopping it up about the fucking anime, dog. Like I'm not in here talking about the fucking, that's for other niggas. I'm not gonna educate you, bro. We just gonna talk this shit up. But my first point number 1, bruh. Hina couldn't be my bitch, bro. Like, she couldn't be my girl. She couldn't be, like, we could be friends, but, like that's, yeah, we could be friends, y'all, because I'm not going to be fighting for you every fucking time. Like, we on the fucking BART train, we on the fucking, whatever the fuck, the metro, whatever you want to call the shit, transportation, on the bus, whatever the fuck. I can't be in class. I can't be, like, dog, you can't be picking fights. Like, I could understand if the situation approaches us, then okay, I hold it down. But, dog, Hina, she be talking too much shit, bruh. And maybe that's why she died in the future. I mean, the way it's explained, she gets hit by like a bus or some shit. Like, I don't know if it's a freak accident. I don't know if someone's purposefully. At this point, it might be a setup, because the information that we got at the end of this episode kind of seems as if someone is picking on Takemichi, if that's even his name, bro. Because, Takemichi, these Japanese niggas be funny. But I'll get to that point at the final moment, dog. But that's the thing, bro. My nigga Takemichi is like, yo, dog, Hina's amazing. To me, if you picking fights, if I gotta fucking defend your honor every 15 seconds, dog, I gotta find me a new one. I can't be out, like, that's too stressful. Secondly, that kind of had me into the process of, well, what happens if he were to die in the past? Because it seems like he gets into these situations where we've seen him save people's lives, and that impact him in the future. Now we got the detective, the little fucking Naruto. He's helping my nigga out and shit. He became a cop. So we've seen him save people's lives in the past, but we never really seen what happens if someone were to die in the past and how that affects the future if he were to die or become injured. Like, let's say the nigga gets shot, he come back to the future and he got an eye patch because the nigga hit him up in the face. So that's remained to be seen. I'm interested in seeing what shit like that, like how that happens. And on to the humor point 3. I really like how this anime really is like a blend of maturity with like some childlike aspects. Of course, he goes back in time. He's in like, what, 6th grade, or I don't know what the fuck. He's in middle school. It's 12 years in the past. But it's like, it reminds me of the type of humor that we see in Jujutsu Kaisen, where, things could be intense, shit could go down, and then like we'll find little pockets of things that happen to make us laugh. So what happened was, like, Hina's on the train talking to Takemichi. He's like, yo, don't you have dreams? Like, what the fuck, bro? Are you failing your test or whatnot? Like, don't you have dreams? And this nigga, because we got to admit, like, his mindset is older, yet he goes back in time. He's in like a child's body. And he was like, damn, dreams? Like, he's thinking to himself, did I actually have dreams and aspirations? Like, it's pretty funny because, like, where we see him in his current life, he's not too happy about it. He got fucking roaches and shit. Like, nigga living in an apartment. He was watching TV and shit. When he found out his little bitch died and whatnot, he had to go back. Oh, it's crazy, But it was funny. Like, shit like that makes me laugh. And it's like, it's adult content wrapped around like this childlike box, and I fuck with that. I love when cartoons, animation, whatever forms of entertainment get to blend those two things, those contradicting things. 4th point. Yo, so that got me into this, because now they're having like little study dates and shit, and I was thinking to myself, because they got to the point where Hina was talking to Takemichi like, yo, you seem different, like you're more older. I feel like I'm talking to an older man. And then in his head, he's like, yeah, well, I'm 12 years older than you. And that made me think, like, when it gets to the romantic things, I hope they find a way to, not make it weird, not make it creepy. I hope you don't pipe her down or nothing like that. I kind of hope they, like, get more humor with it. Like maybe he's always avoiding it. Maybe he has like some type of honor. Oh, I'm saving it for marriage, some shit like that. Or like he gets to a point where he's always avoiding that situation. And then like she's like, dog, are you gay or something? Like, what's up with you? And then he's like, oh no, you know, like some way to make that funny. Cause it's like, at this point, it's kind of like, okay, well, what's gonna happen? Because that might come about. Y'all some young niggas, you know, y'all niggas might be trying to fuck. So we'll see what happens in that scenario. Hopefully, you know, like, hopefully you don't really, you know, oh, I'm gonna go buy these condoms and shit. Like, hopefully you don't get to a point where he's at a 7-Eleven, he buying, you know, Trojans and shit. He trying to fuck. On to 5. We get into a point where they're starting to explain the time traveling process. We touched on it in previous episodes, but it was more of a hypothesis that came out with Naruto. Now we get to a point where, okay, it's explained. And I like the construction of how the time travel actually even works, because it allows it simplicity, but at the same time, it's beneficial because now we could kind of plan our operation around things. It's not like, oh, you go back 12 years, but every time you go back in time, you might be confused because the time space is different in the past than it is in the present. It's pretty much on a parallel axis. So if I go back in time and spend 7 days there, 7 days in the present time has passed as well. So it's dope. So if he were to like say, oh, I shook your hand on accident, fuck, bro, I lost a day. I could go back in time. Let's shake hands. Let's dap it up one more time. I'll go back in time. Okay, now I'm still back in the mix. I just had a date last night. Blah, blah. You know, it's not like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Whereas we did have that moment where he randomly summons and he's like in the middle of damn near getting his ass beat. Like, oh, shit, I'm in a fucking fight club. What the fuck? Oh, shit, I forgot I used to go to these things. You know, shit like that. So I think it's a very simple formula which allows them to be more creative with their planning and shit like that. So I think that's dope. Point 6. Now this is where he accidentally shakes the fucking hand of his little brother. He's into the present. He wakes up in that little hospital or the bedroom. And he has a moment where he's talking to Naruto. And he's like, dog, you know what? Let's talk to Mikey, like the leader of the gang. Let's talk to this motherfucker. I gotta, you know, run up on him. I gotta see what the fuck happened to make him change. And before Naruto even said it himself, I really thought that this was a dope moment within the anime because it shows where the past has begun to change our main character. We've seen the past change these side characters and, you know, people he's friends with. We've seen their lives change, but we get to see his personality change. And in a way where it's like him more so practicing. Like, so he goes back in time. He's reliving his past, but he's doing things that he wasn't doing in that past. He's becoming more confident. He, you know, he's like, fuck this shit. I've been a bitch. I know my future. I'm a bitch. I'm a hoe ass nigga. I hate my job. My boss is like fucking 16 years old or whatever the fuck. He's bullying me and shit. I gotta change this shit. So we've seen those moments of him being heroic, but he's like getting his ass whooped and shit. Like he's taking a stand. This is the first time we see him take a stand in the present, because, you know, up until those little bubble moments where he, you know, is like, fuck this shit, I'm tired of getting bullied, it's still like he's more of this person who's kind of like letting everything kind of happen. He's, you know, well, this is strange. Let's see what happens when I do this. That was a moment where his character began to change. And Naruto even says it himself. He's like, yeah, your weak side is gone. And I also love how they get into more missions in the present. So I never really thought of them doing things too much in the present within this show, but I'm glad that they're, you know, taking actual action. So we're going to go up and meet with these people, meet up with an old friend of mine and whatnot. And I think that's a dope element because it doesn't make this present be like this little checkpoint thing. We're not just living the past and, okay, every time we're in the present, we're just going to do some fucking homework. Let's see what we could re-strategize on and go back in the future. No, we got to really act within this present as well. So I think that's dope. And we meet Akkun, bro. That nigga looked like he got bodies. It was a bit strange. I want to know why he would even push Takemichi, why he jumped off that building. But it gives us more people for Takemichi to save in the future. And I really thought that was a dope. Like, I'm still a bit confused about how all that came about, but I'm confused in a good way. I'm confused in a curious way. So I'm going to leave that there. That nigga Akkun, I just got to say, that nigga looked like he got bodies. He looked like he got fucking bodies, bro. But I'm going to leave that there. Peace. Thank y'all. Take care.